On a misty farm at the edge of Vancouver Island, an 18-year-old named Wild Rose uncovers a secret that will send her from the moon's far side all the way to forbidden archives on Mars. They call her Wild Rose because she never fit the rows and routines of farm life. But last week, a routine maintenance ping from a remote telescope array on the moon's far side hit her family's comms tower, carrying something it shouldn't, a fragment from the lunar archives at Farside. Most people hear lunar archives and think of dusty government databanks, but the Farside cluster is different. It's old, older than any human hardware up there, and buried inside its encryption, Wild Rose finds a name that shouldn't exist, a reference to the Martian Grand Archive, and a map. To understand what she's found, you have to know the oldest story in the solar system. Long before Earth had cities, a traveling giant carved scars into the sky. Researchers like Zechariah Sitchin called its path the orbit of a rogue world, and modern storytellers like Gil Broussard gave it a name: Planet 7X. According to these theories, Planet 7X didn't just pass by, it interacted. It disturbed orbits, shattered worlds, and left behind refugees, highly advanced beings who needed a new base. Sitchin called them the Anunnaki. And where do refugees of a cosmic disaster store their history? In archives, hidden on the safest rocks they can find. The lunar archives at Farside, if they're what Wild Rose thinks they are like a backup cache, a breadcrumb left in our neighborhood. But the fragment she intercepted points somewhere else entirely. A much larger vault, buried under the ancient dust of Mars. The coordinate string is old, built on star positions from a sky we don't see anymore. But Wild Rose grew up under some of the clearest dark skies on Earth. Line by line, she decodes the map, translating their stellar grid into ours. And the route resolves into something terrifyingly specific. A path into the Martian archives, timed to the next close approach of Planet 7X. In Sitchin's interpretations, Planet 7X's close passes triggered cataclysms on Earth, floods, quakes, resets. In Broussard's conjectures, its returns are patterned, predictable, and imminent. If the Martian archives were built by survivors of an earlier pass, then a window might be opening again, when Mars, Earth, and this rogue world line up just right. The map from the lunar archives doesn't just say where. It says when. It encodes a rendezvous, an instruction for anyone stubborn or desperate enough to follow it. And out on the edge of Vancouver Island, Wild Rose realizes something chilling. The window opens in her lifetime, and it might start with a signal from her own sky. But why Mars? In Sitchin's cosmic genealogy, Mars was once a way station, a repair yard, an outpost for the Anunnaki, operating between their home realm and Earth. In Broussard's 7X narratives, it becomes the scarred neighbor that took the brunt of ancient encounters. If you were archiving the story of a broken world, and the beings who fled it, Mars would be your library of last resort. The Martian archives, Wild Rose sees in the data, aren't neat shelves of books. They're described like nested vaults, layers of memory etched into stone, alloy, and even magnetic fields in the planet's crust. Some segments supposedly record the last close pass of Planet 7X, what they lost, where their survivors went, and what they predicted would happen when 7X came back. For Wild Rose, the story stops being theory the moment she realizes the lunar map knows her sky. It references constellations as they appear from her latitude. It pings her family's farm array by name, and it schedules its own next unlock for a specific night when Planet 7X is due to whisper past the edge of our instrument's range. This is where Sitchin's ancient astronauts and Broussard's Planet 7X stop being just wild ideas on a screen. For Wild Rose, They become coordinates, dates, and decisions. Does she follow the instructions and become a messenger between Earth and the Martian archives? Or does she treat it as a glitch and hope that whatever the archives built this map to warn us about never arrives? The Martian archives, if they exist as described in these stories, may hold records of worlds torn apart by Planet 7X, blueprints of technology used to ride out its passing, and instructions for what to do when the sky starts to change. For an 18-year-old farmer's daughter, that's not just a cosmic puzzle, it's a responsibility. So here's where we leave Wild Rose for now on a misty island farm, holding a map from the lunar archives that points to a Martian vault built in the shadow of Planet 7X. In the next chapter, we'll follow her attempt to answer that call and see what happens when our myths, our sky, and a forgotten Martian library finally intersect. If you want to see where Wild Rose's map leads on Mars, and how the legends of Planet 7X and the Anunnaki collide with her life on Earth, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode in this series.